Hi and welcome back to another video of jPlay. Today will be a rather short one as I will more or less quote-unquote unbox Dice Hospital Community Care, which is the Kickstarter expansion which I received a couple of days ago. And I really like the original Dice Hospital a lot. I even did a playthrough with my wife on this and we both like this game, and so I was really excited when I originally saw the announcement for the community care expansion here on Kickstarter. And now it's here, so let's have a look inside the box. Already removed the shrink wrap. I also checked out the rulebook here. Now I think we will look at some of those additional things that come with the game in about a second or so, or in a minute. Okay, that's the chocolate factory. Yeah, let's not take care of this. And yeah, basically here we have some of the components. That's the, I think, yeah, for the helicopter, I think introducing more player counts as far as I can remember. I think so, right? I think that's the case. This is for the, I think it's the maternity kind of expansion. I will have a look at those. So those come with some extra awards here, some more intake cares. These are some tokens that come, I believe, with the city map expansion or so, or maybe that's those. I really have to check. We will check out those rules. Of course, it's really a ton of extra cardboard material here, obviously. This, I believe, is for the solo mode, and this is the one piece I'm really excited about. You could play the original game pretty much solo without any problems. Yeah, but it's kind of a beat your own score, and I really don't like that at all. This comes with a proper Automa, which really gives you, or seems to give you, dice. Those are the cute little baby dice. How nice are those? Those are the dice for the pregnant mothers. Yeah, of course we have some of the more, of course that's the deluxe edition. Obviously some more components here, some more dice here. Again, I believe that's for another player. I think so. Yeah, exactly. It's a 5-player expansion also. Yeah, and this, of course, yeah, that's the cool helicopter. How nice is that? I even didn't put this together. And yeah, I think you can put it together, and it even puts, and it has space for those dice here. Isn't that lovely? Maybe let's zoom in on this and give this one a try. I mean, isn't that lovely? Really so nicely done. Really so much love and detail went into the production of those deluxe components here. Really adorable to look at. Like this one a lot. I already mentioned this. This is the die for the, come on, how it is called. I keep forgetting this. It's the maternity expansion, right? These are the, yeah, mothers to come or become. And this is basically the die that you're rolling when this mother is giving birth. It has one little kid on it, has 2 little kids on it. It's really adorable. And when you play with the maternity expansion, you get this extra little board. So I think you're rolling this die, then you check what it is, and then let's say it's 1 kid. Then you have to place that kid next to the mother. Isn't that lovely? And yeah, fear not, the rules are very specific. You know, in the normal game and all the normal patients, they can really die. The designers have taken care of that. This is not gonna happen to neither the mother nor the kids. I really think that this is definitely a good and a wise design choice. So nothing really terrible can happen to those adorable little dice here. Maybe let's have a quick look at the city expansion here, which pretty much exchanges or replaces the overall intake process of the core game. I'm not sure if I like this or not. Again, I haven't played it yet, but this is definitely one of the things I was really curious to see how it goes. It's really not that complicated, so you don't have to really drive around the cars and whatever rolling dice. There are still some tactical decisions or strategic decisions that you have to take. We have those paramedic tokens here. I believe this also brings in then the helicopter here. You also get some of those bonus tokens here, which you then can use during your later action step. Whatever helping you're giving you, whatever extra curing, for example, an extra nurse and whatnot. By the way, those yeah, pink kind of stations obviously help you with the maternity expansion, but yeah, it's the same punch board. On top of this, this mode comes now with this intake tracker, which then deals with the initiative. You may remember in the original game, player order was determined by which emergency car has been, or ambulance has been chosen, and whatever, I think. Yeah, I think you know the base game. Here it's a little bit different. Here you are basically counting the total amount of pips you collected. It's still 3 dice that you usually collect in this mode here, but then you really check how many pips you had, and then you basically use these trackers here, and then whoever I think has the highest amount of things might most likely be last, or so I could now check. Again, I only went through the rules basically once just to understanding what those components are, but this is how you now determine the player order, which was kind of a clever mechanic in the basic game actually. So I really hope that with the city map expansion they kind of kept that decision making process here, because it did matter what dice you chose, which player order you had, depending on the improvements and specialists that were out. So a lot of things that happen. And by the way, here are some more of those city tiles. And yes, you build the map depending on the player count. And I think they're even two-sided, because some of those, yeah, like this one here has this little pink spot, or this is the one that you would be using with the maternity expansion. Speaking about all of those modules, the game really comes with a lot of those. So we have the city expansion, the investment expansion, the maternity expansion, and then we have the combinations. And this is usually, I'm really not a big fan of a modular expansion, because it really makes teaching the game somewhat difficult, especially for newer players. Yeah, of course, with new players you should not play with any expansions, I get that, but some of the expansion, or for some games the expansions for me are somewhat key. So I would, whatever, there are games which I would never play without any expansions, for example. It could be the similar thing here, but then you really have to start taking the original rules, then you have to take part of those rules. I really don't like that a lot. Good thing is here you can really combine everything together. I don't really know if that does make sense and if I will like all of those expansions. I really like the maternity expansion. For me, that's a given. I think this was for me the kicker when I read the announcement, or basically the Kickstarter page, and I saw this. Oh yeah, that's a nice idea, having this maternity expansion. I believe this also happened when we just got a new kid, so really made sense to me. But all the others, again, city expansion, not 100% sure if that really improves the game. Really have to see that out. As for the investment expansion, this also seems rather interesting. It comes with some more specialists. We have this supplemental intake board. I think this is for rounds 5 to 8. And here we have rounds 1 to 4, for example. We come with new department tiles. And overall, this gives you the basically option or capability to optimize your synergy effects of all your specialists and your war tiles here, for example. And again, these come with these smaller tokens here. Let's see if I can find the punch board here. Really a lot of those. They're really rather small, so I'm not sure how they are working. But again, these are basically spaces which you can then put underneath those tiles, so they really grant you additional. You really can optimize your thing. Not sure if that gets a little bit too fiddly. I really have to check those out. But for me, this sounds rather intriguing. I mean, in respect to the effect they are providing, I think it's relatively obvious. So here they come with extra nurses. Here you get extra treatment for green patients and whatnot. So I think this is still relatively clear how to use those, but again, not sure. You're really moving a lot of components in the core game already with all those dice, and not sure if this makes it any easier. And you have the nurses, you have the specialists, you name it. But yeah, this is definitely something which I'm also intrigued about. So I'm pretty sure I will play them all, but I think for my immediate next video and or playthrough, my main focus is on the solo Automa. So I will definitely do a solo playthrough against this solo Automa here. The one downside about this one is you can only play it with a core game, at least right now. I'm not 100% sure if there might be rules coming up which allow you to also use some of the expansion. But I still think you have a lot on your plate to basically beat him here. It's basically a 2-player game. It comes with those decision cards here. I mean, there's a whole bunch of those. It comes with those Automa hospital cards like those. And I think I already showed these to you, those first player tiles, which are then being used, I believe, to cover up portions of those hospital cards here. So whenever the Automa will be first, at least he may not do most amount of victory points. I think we are always covering up then this section of the card accordingly, and then you will not be able to score this side. Obviously, this card doesn't come with any scoring opportunities like this one here. But on this side here, for example, he could really score basically both sections of this card here. And this is where it, I think, somehow balances things. So I think I can show that to you. So when he gets the starting player, then you will cover up one of those cards. I really don't know exactly right now. There is a order of things how you do that. And those cards will pretty much stay on the table until he more or less scores them. But if this card has this first player token here, then again, it only scores, I think, the left-hand side of that card. Really sounded still relatively easy to follow, and this is something which I really like, having automas which are making meaningful decisions but still are easy to control. And from reading those, I believe they seem to be okay. And you also see the number of robot heads here. Of course, yeah, we have a difficulty level which you can tie together. Not sure how it's done. I think in the normal mode you have 2, 2, 2 or so, whatever, and then you can basically change the mix in respect how difficult you want the game to be. And I believe with that being said, this is pretty much my quote-unquote unboxing of Dice Hospital Community Camp. So I really hope you enjoyed it somewhat. It's really something I'm not doing a lot. So if you want me to do this more often, just let me know. You can thumb it up, you can thumb it down, you can leave a comment. Definitely appreciate all your feedback. What's definitely certain is that my next playthrough video will be Dice Hospital with the Automa expansion here. Really looking forward to this. I might consider doing one at least training session before, just to refamiliarize myself with the rules. Quite honestly, I haven't played the core game in whatever 3, 4, 5 months now, so maybe I should also consider doing a normal playthrough before I even consider taking on this Automa. Really not sure how difficult they will be to beat, but I'm really looking forward to this, and I really hope to see you all soon in one of my other videos. A huge shout out to all of my patrons. Really do appreciate your support, and yeah, until then, bye bye.